My name is Pat Frost, and I'm a past chair of SA Sports. And Jenny Carnes and I, this has been a labor of love. We started in 2010 the quest to bring professional tennis to San Antonio and met lots of great people along the way. But one at the top of the list is Tim Stollard. And Tim is the one who has brought professional tennis on an annual basis to San Antonio. And we're so proud to have, this is the second annual, but it's really the third. He was involved with the men-only tournament that we hosted 2 years ago. And Tim improved it because he got women professional players to play also. So we're excited to have back here, and I'm going to bring it to Tim to tell you about the dates and all these great players that are going to come play in San Antonio. So Tim, thank you again.
Thank you, Pat, and thank you, San Antonio Sports, for your continued support of this event. The vision of this event was to really create a unique event for San Antonio. And what we are so proud of is this event not only brings the top professional men and women, but we also feature a lot of the top college players and top juniors in the state. So it's really a great opportunity to celebrate the sport of tennis in Texas. Both teams will be competing for this. This is the Henry Walsdorf Cup. We're very proud. We have two amazing gentlemen, Jim Henry and Jonas Walsdorf, that inspired this trophy, and the teams will be battling hard for that. So we're really excited about having the event, which will be November 8th through 10th. Every great event, every great team has to have two great coaches, and we have two of the best coaches in the history of the sport of tennis. Coach Wayne Bryan, people know him as the father of the Bryan brothers. You take all the credit for that, right? That's right. Okay. How many Grand Slams? 16?
45 total.
45 total? I'm a little short. Unbelievable. And then the great Murphy Jensen, French Open champion. These guys are just such amazing ambassadors of the sport. And we're really excited to have them back for the second year, and we'll continue to grow with them. So I'm going to turn it over to Coach Bryan for starters.
Right.
And he will on.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Well, thanks for turning out, all the writers and TV people and sponsors and volunteers. We appreciate how you all support this event. I mean, starting off, I would like Pat just to stand up and face the others just one second. Turn face. Murphy, would you stand up one second?
Yes.
Turn face. Both of these guys have been in Gentleman's Quarterly for being best dressed people. Pat has a kind of a 2024 style, while Murphy has a 1975 disco style. Give them both a hand, well dressed. Why San Antonio? We had dinner with Greg last night. He said, there's a quote, San Antonio is a wonderful sports city, rich in tradition and history. And I 100% agree. It's a great tennis town. There's so many wonderful clubs and public parks and colleges. So this is just a natural place. When you're going to have a tennis event, you want to have it in San Antonio. Just one personal story. Eddie Robinson, the great coach at Grambling, always said that coaching is a profession of love. Parenting is a profession of love. Teaching, mentoring, I mean, it's all about love and relationship, as we talked last night with Tim. I bonded, of course, with Mike and Bob through the years as their dad, but also as their coach. And I think probably the most pivotal time that we bonding comes through stress and strife and so forth. They were playing here in San Antonio at the famed McFarland Tennis Center, which I think was built in the 20s, if I'm not mistaken, the WTA. It's a wonderful, classical old facility. Well, they were 14. They were the number one team in the nation, number one in single. They had a lot of publicity because of the twin thing, and having done so well. They'd won most every tournament that year, and here they are playing in San Antonio. A lot of press, like today. The Bryan brothers are playing in the finals on Sunday. Huge crowd comes out and fills that stadium. They went out and got their butt kicked 2-1 by Keith Brill and Porter Jones, who they'd beaten like a drum all year, every time they played them. They didn't play bad, they just got killed that day. And they went back in that old, dark locker room that goes up forever. It's dank and it's dark, and the winners had long since gone, and they were celebrating. and they were about this tall. They weighed about 90 pounds. And they were standing right next to each other in this dark, dank San Antonio locker room, and they were, you know, like 14, they were weeping, crying, and, you know, and so what do? Do I come up and say, what the hell happened out there today? You always beat them. How could you possibly lose? We spend all this money to beat San Antonio. What happened? No, of course not. I got right between them, I put my arms around them, and I said, let me tell you all the times I lost and had tough matches in finals, and I know what you're feeling, and I'm right with you, you know. So from then on, I mean, not only were we already bound, but this is the time that I think more than any, you know. So when children have the tough time, that's when you got to empathize, and that's when you got to have unconditional love. And to this day, anytime they play or win, lose, or draw, I mean, if I'm not in the same city, I always call them or text them. But this city will always be special because of that, and because it's a great tennis town. Hey, what about this event? San Antonio International Team Tennis Championship. It's incredibly unique. It brings in 10 players from all over the world, and they're all really good players, some of the all-time greats. On the plane, I think Murphy did this. Did I do this or you did this? 54 Grand Slam titles represented by these people, 6 Olympic medals, and 4 former #1 players. There's some future Hall of Famers and existing Hall of Famers. It's an incredible group of players, but thanks to Tim, they're also really good people. Kim Clijsters, Hall of Famer, one of the nicest women that's ever played tennis. Gail Monfils, along with Andre Agassi, one of the most exciting guys to ever play. So an incredible field. I've talked about Mike and Bob Brown. We have Tommy Paul, who's 12 in the world. I'm just going to tell one more quick story, and then I'm going to get Murphy up here. He's a better talker. He's much better dressed. But Tommy Paul, y'all know Tommy Paul, this young American. 12 in the world. My son Bob is the captain of the United States Davis Cup team. Our Olympic team. He was in Paris 2 weeks ago. Tommy Paul is playing doubles. He lost in the quarters really close to Alcaraz. So he's playing with Taylor Fritz, who you may know, another star American player. And they're getting all the way to the semifinals. Mike and Bob are coaching. They're playing great doubles. They've never done well in doubles before. And they get out there for the bronze medal. They win the first set, and they're playing well, and it gets away, and they lose in a tiebreaker in the third. So now, because of the Olympics, they're going to play for the bronze medal the next day. And they're so dejected. And Bob and Mike can come up to them and say, hey, the bronze medal is the greatest medal you could ever win. They said, what the hell are you talking about? Gold is the best, or silver, not bronze. He said, no, it's bronze. And they talked to him, and I said, we played in China. We lost to a team called Federer and Wawrinka. We always beat Federer and Nadal, but they got us that day in a close 3-setter. So now we were playing for bronze. And we suddenly realized there's no points, there's no money, there's no nothing if you lose the third place playoff. But if you win, you go home with a medal, a bronze medal. It's the greatest medal ever. And they sold it to the guys, and what happened? Tommy and Taylor went out, played sensational, best they played all, and they won the third place playoff, and they got a bronze medal. The American team, Rajiv Ram and Austin Krajicek, were playing for gold. American team the next day. They lost in the finals, having won a set and been up a break. They lost the gold medal and got silver. So we got 2 American teams up on the podium. Mike and I were so proud. A silver team and a bronze team. The silver team of Rajiv Ram and Austin Krajicek are up there on the podium, and they're crying, not because they're proud of their country. They're so sorry because they lost the gold medal and only got silver. And here's Tommy Paul and Taylor Fritz on the other, they're like this. They won the bronze medal, so that was very good coaching. Let me say a couple other words about the event. There's nobody better running tennis events than this guy to my left, Tim Stollard. He really gets it. He understands the players, and he understands fans and how to bring people together. Not only the pros here, but he involves some local colleges, Baylor, San Antonio, so forth and so on. Some top Texas juniors, which I think is exciting. But the thing that I love the best, personally speaking, I've emceed pro events for the last 26 years all over the country, and I always wanted to bring high schools. I tell the tournament, bring high school players, bring teams. And the tournament say, hey, Coach Brown, we got a team to come. Oh, we got 3 teams. I said, great. How many teams does Tim have coming last year? And even more than 32 teams from as far as 10 hours away. They stay the entire weekend, and these kids get amazingly inspired. So he's a great supporter of high school tennis. This is a great event for high school tennis. It's a great event for tennis, and it's a great event, I think, for Texas and the city of San Antonio. That's all I gotta really want to say. Let me bring up the Disco King right now, a great pal of mine. Just introducing him, I mean, the Bryans and the Jensens are really inextricably linked, as I told Murphy many times. Mike and Bob had beautiful bedrooms, nice walls, but they had 2 idols, Andre Agassi and the Jensen brothers. There was Jensen mania in the mid-90s. The Jensen brothers were the number 3 draw in tennis. Andre Pete and the Jensens. We saw a match in LA they were playing. The singles went really long. They went on 11:30 at night in LA during Jensen mania. That stadium was packed with 8,500 people, not one person left. These guys were amazing. So Mike and Bob collected Jensen posters and Agassi posters all over their walls, covering the entire bedroom with these posters of these guys. The last thing they saw at night was the Jensen brothers and Andre. The first thing they saw every morning was Andre and the Jensen brothers. They started playing exhibitions when they were juniors. They played they probably played 100 exhibitions. Mike and Bob played an exhibition against Andy Roddick and John Isner in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. Who's the MC? Luke Jensen. Who am I competing against in World Team Tennis for years? And this guy right here. So we're inextricably linked. He's got a zany, wild, and crazy personality that people love. He's been in 3 movies. He's had 2 series on Tennis Channel. He's an unbelievable entertainer kind of guy. And people think, oh, this guy's a loot. No, he's incredibly intelligent. You'll never know it the way he acts all the time. He's very smart, as is his brother. They have unbelievable admiration. They won the French Open. They've been top 10 in the world. Great player, great coach. 5 times World Team Tennis Coach of the Year. 6 times he won the championship. He holds the record. I think it still stands, maybe not. His team won 34 professional tennis matches in a row. Incredible, right? Great coach, great heart. I have unbelievable admiration for his playing, his coaching, and just as he is the guy. Terrific dad. I love this guy. But what a dresser. The great Murphy Jensen. Get up here. Now, Tim said if you go too long, I'm going to take my racket and hook you off. Say a few words. And then I'm going to ask you some questions afterwards.
I really hope that you film that, because that's going to be none of it's true. No, it's I'm truly humbled and honored to be back for the San Antonio International Team Tennis Championships. Tim Stollard and his work goes beyond measure, as Pat was sharing. Last year we witnessed arguably, the greatest showcase of tennis in the history of Texas in one venue here in San Antonio. I mean, with Venus Williams, John Isner, J.J. Wolf, Kim Clijsters, Victoria Azarenka, Gail Monfils.
Don't forget those Bryan brothers.
Who? Don't forget those Bryan brothers. We're getting there. This is my time, Wayne. So thank you, Tim, and thank you, San Antonio. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Diamondback. Thank you, all of our sponsors. Thank you, this great city of San Antonio. There's a quote that I live by, and it's by Arthur Ashe. I may have shared it last year. And Arthur Ashe says that true heroism is remarkably sober, very undramatic. It's not the urge to surpass all others at whatever cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever cost. And the San Antonio International Team Tennis Championship is a representation of that service to this community, to its children, to its parents, to those that can't afford sports, education, opportunity. San Antonio Sports is a game changer to saving a life, to creating a life and creating a chance at joy, at hope. This city has rich tennis tradition, and it goes back, I shared this story at dinner last night. For me and my family, I started playing tennis maybe at the age of 3 years old, and I was tied to a net post as a little boy. But by the age of 6 or 7, I'm learning to read, and my first book was Tennis Magazine. And as I'm reading Tennis Magazine in 1974, I want to say, I'm reading about these tennis players, and they're from San Antonio, Texas, and they played for Trinity. It was Brian Gottfried. It's giving me chills. Dickie Stockton, the coach. They beat everybody. There was nobody better. And it held, this college team represented the United States for Davis Cup. They were the top 10 players in the world. And so I said, Mom, I'm 7 years old. One day I'm going to move to San Antonio. I'm going to play for Trinity. And my mom made me a Letterman's jacket when I was 8 years old. And it had the word Trinity on it. And it had the word tennis. And true story, that jacket sits in my childhood bedroom in northern Michigan in the closet to this day. And my little 6.5-year-old was trying it on and running around the house. I mentioned this last year. This game of tennis has given myself and our family a life beyond its wildest dreams. And the San Antonio International Tennis Championships is about producing an event. It's an event, a tennis event, that's going to be the biggest tennis event that's going to take place in Texas in 2024. And it's going to serve San Antonio and the state of Texas. And everybody, whether you're in Texas or New Mexico or Oklahoma, everybody's welcome. And you're going to want to see this, because on my team that choked to Wayne, I think we were cheated last year. I coached the Austin Capitals. Why can't I coach the San Antonio team? I'm the one with the Trinity jacket. I've got Gail Monfils. Now there is an unbelievable picture from last year. It's Gail Monfils hitting a forehand, and this guy is Superman with a tennis racket. And his legs are spread like this. He's hitting a forehand. And if you look closely at the picture, it was taken from this side to this side. There's Pat and everybody on this side. We're in between this guy's Eiffel Tower of a body. He's from France. And Gail arguably is the greatest shot maker in the history of the game with 12 ATP titles. He's married to Elena Svitolina, and he just beat Alcaraz last week in Cincinnati. So we got the hottest player in tennis who just beat the #1 player in the world last week coming to San Antonio, Gail Monfils.
Good dancer too.
He's a very good dancer. You might see him dance. We're going to kick your butt this year, Wayne. I'm so sick of losing to this guy. No, I love you, Wayne. I have another player coming back. Any fans of Belgium in the crowd? Any Belgian fans? Any French-speaking fans? Well, I've got Kim Clijsters. If you don't remember, she has 3 U.S. Open titles. She has an Australian Open title, 2 French Open finals. She was #1 in the world in singles and doubles at the same time. Only a few people have ever done that. Kim Clijsters is back. I got the better of the Bryan brothers. I got Mike Bryan. Bob's a choker. He's put on a little weight, and he's now the Davis Cup captain. He's a big shot in the Bryan family. Thank God I've got Mike Bryan, not Bob Bryan. It was really Mike Bryan that stole the chest bump from the Jensen brothers. The Jensen brothers were famous for the chest bump. until Mike stole it from us.
We stole every aspect of their life, every single thing.
This trophy's coming home with me. What a great trophy. I've got Sophia Kennan on my team. She's an Australian Open champion. She in 2020. She was the WTA Player of the Year. She has 5 singles titles, and she is we are so lucky to have her because she's not only a great player. The players that we have coming to San Antonio, what makes them great is they're great people, great humans. You know, it's really easy to get someone with a fancy resume, but to get a great human. And that's where I sit in this world today is I want to hang and spend my time and be of service. Like, I can't even put my name in the same sentence as an Arthur Ashe, but my job on this planet is to be of service to San Antonio and places like San Antonio. And for those that know, last year I mentioned coming back to San Antonio is extra special because 2 weeks after being in San Antonio, I had a cardiac arrest. So last year was very special to me. I dropped dead on a tennis court. Everything matters. Everything matters in my life today. Looking into your eyes, I said this morning, I'm so grateful I woke up today. You know, I met a woman named Tuesday night today. And I said, you know, every Tuesday, I said, what day is it? She goes, Monday. I said, well, I practice gratitude Tuesday. And I'm so grateful to be part of the San Antonio International Team Tennis Championships. This thing is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to thrive. And, you know, if anybody shows up at this stadium and knocks on the door and wants to see some tennis, they're welcome. You just say you're friends of Murphy, or you're friends of Wayne's, or you're friends of Pat's, or you're friends of Tim's. We'll get you in here to see some tennis. So I welcome everybody in this area to, you know, at the end of the day, I learned coming out of that coma, and Tim knows this, that love saved my life, and the prayers from the world of tennis saved my life. And I'm here to, we're going to have more fun than we've ever had in the city of San Antonio, except for maybe when you win the NBA championships. We're going to have some fun. And Wayne's going to be driving the fun bus. I love you to pieces. Thank you.
Any questions Murphy and I can answer for you?
Yes.
We got a great party on Thursday night at the top of the Frost Bank. The Bryan Brothers Band will be there. They got some all-star players. Jim Boges, the County Crows, will be playing drums, and some other superstars. Might have Murphy sing a song or two.
Yes, I'll sing a song.
Yeah.
Mr. Bojangles.
So you're going to beat us this year.
What's that?
You're going to beat us this year.
I'm calling that now. Make your bets early. You'll get better odds. The Austin Capitals will be the 2024 champions.
Speaking of Mr. Bojangles.
Last year you guys cheated us.
No, we did not cheat.
Yes, you did.
One night he was playing with Jerry Jeff Walker, and Jerry Jeff Walker said, Murphy said, what do you think of my guitar playing? Jerry Jeff paused a long time and said, you're a great campfire guitarist.
This is a true story.
Yeah.
My wedding gift from Tim Stollard 15, 16 years ago was a guitar. And by Mr. Collins out of Austin, Texas. And so I went into a guitar shop and I'm looking around and they said to try some out before going to the factory to have Mr. Collins custom make you this guitar. And this cowboy rolls up on me with boots and a cowboy hat and is like, you don't want one of these. You're not good enough to play one of these. And I said, well, it's a wedding gift. I can pick any one I want. And he says, well, get that expensive jumbo then. And then he said, I'm not good enough to play guitar.
Wow. Do you have questions, or should we ask you questions? Who was there last year? What's the best thing about the event to you?
I just think the great group of players that y'all put together get to see, and then also all these teams you were talking about that are all these kids that are getting inspired.
Yeah, that fires me up tremendously. Yeah. What about you? Question. What was the best thing for you?
I like the opening party.
I'll see you there on the rooftop.
These are good answers. What was the best thing to you? Yeah.
Interaction with the kids.
Yeah.
The kids really watching them interact. There were a couple that played on the court, literally some of the ball kids. And so there were a couple that still to this day they're talking about.
We had a great clinic in the morning.
The clinic at one point had close to 3,500 kids on one tennis court. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, we had an absolute blast with the kids. That's what we both love. Yeah.
And we need to get a picture over here with the.
Oh,
team.
geez.
They have to leave, so they said they need to get their.
All right, do you want
And then we can do a few more questions, but they wanted to get a picture with the trophy.
Okay.
So
Oh, like a still?
it's still over here, and then.
my sponsors?
Can we get one with Pat? Can we get a real nice one? You get the good one.
Get the stat correct of the consecutive win streak record for a professional team. They're not going straight from 34 straight wins. Remember the Lakers in the early 70s?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Beat by
The coach. But my players were Venus, Serena, Hingis, Leah. I had literally 20 Hall of Famers.
But you can float.
What would y'all like to see from this year's event that you didn't see last year? Anything like
Who else was there last year? What was the best thing for you?
The best thing for me was when I saw Montes hit that forehand
Yeah.
at like Mach 5.
Right?
That was unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, he really gets it. Yeah. How about you?
I love seeing the college kids too. I think it's fun, and I don't know if there's gonna be high school kids this year, and I don't know if there's ever an opportunity in the future, maybe wheelchair tennis.
Adaptive tennis would be great.
Yeah.
Some events.
How about pickleball?
Yeah.
No.